Now, the US president has tried to reframe the economic narrative that poses the greatest threat to his re-election bid. Barack Obama was campaigning in the battleground state of Ohio. Our North America correspondent Jane Cowan joins us now from Washington. Good morning, Jane. Was there anything new in Barack Obama's speech today?
Well, not necessarily, Karina. This really was, as you say, his attempt to reclaim his campaign narrative after some setbacks in recent weeks when it all went a bit pear-shaped. First, there was the bad jobs report, the anemic report where unemployment notched back up. Then there was the misstep where Barack Obama seemed to really downplay the economic woes facing Americans by saying that the private sector was doing fine. The optics today were a little bit awkward, the visuals for Barack Obama, because he was standing at a community college in the very spot where Bill Clinton stood just a couple of years ago and confidently urged voters at that stage to give the Obama administration a chance, saying it deserved the time to fix the economy, and then saying you can vote the Obama administration out if they don't manage to do that. And here Barack Obama is standing there with many Americans still struggling and asking now for another 4 years to fix this economy. Barack Obama, though, says that what is holding the country back is not a lack of big ideas, but rather a stalemate, a political gridlock in Washington. And he is now framing this election as the American people's chance to break that gridlock. He was harking back to the Bush years, reminding Americans how the economic crisis came about in the first place. And he was really casting the November vote as a choice between two vastly different versions of how now to fix the economy. He's saying everyone agrees that it's not doing as well as it should be, but he's saying his approach is to invest in the middle class by things like using government dollars to hire back teachers and firefighters, whereas the Romney, the Republican approach, is to just cut taxes, cut regulation, and the theory is that then the benefits trickle down through the market naturally. But let's have a look at some of what Barack Obama said.
Of course the economy isn't where it needs to be. Of course, we have a lot more work to do. Everybody knows that. The debate in this election is about how we grow faster and how we create more jobs and how we pay down our debt. That's the question facing the American voter.
Meanwhile, Jane, Mitt Romney spoke in another part of Ohio. What was his message?
Well, he was really doing what in the US political lingo they call bracketing by delivering a speech just before Barack Obama stepped on stage. He was in another corner of Ohio, as you say. This is a swing state that both sides see as the most crucial. The strategists often recite the statistic that no Republican has ever won the White House without taking out Ohio. This is a state where both sides have spent more money on advertising than anywhere else in America. But Mitt Romney was really making the case that Barack Obama has had his chance. He's had enough time to get the economy going right, and he's failed to do that. And he also took a pot shot at the president for having made that comment that the economy was doing fine.
But when he said that, there was such an outpouring of response from the 23 million Americans out of work or underemployed that I think today he's not going to say it again. I think it's more likely he's going to say, give me 4 more years. Even though I didn't get it done in the first 3.5. In my experience in thinking about people who I want to have work for me, whether it's my doctor or the person that that's going to be painting the house, I want to make sure they did a good job the first time. And if they didn't, I want someone who can do a better job.
So, Jane, is there any sense of how these two competing messages are going down with the American public?
Well, Barack Obama is certainly losing his edge in the polls. They don't look good for him. It's looking at the moment like a very tight race. But on the upside for the president, the polls still do show that a majority of Americans blame his predecessor, George W. Bush, more for the bad state of the economy than they do Barack Obama. Mitt Romney's camp is continuing to try to paint the president, though, as out of touch and ill-equipped, really, to fix the problems with the economy. And the president didn't necessarily help that perception that he is out of touch by the fact that he is heading straight from this campaign event to a fundraiser in New York City, in Greenwich Village actually, at the home of the Sex and the City star Sarah Jessica Parker. And this is exactly the kind of celebrity hobnobbing that the Republicans are using to try to really suggest that he's disconnected with the pain that ordinary Americans are still feeling.
Jane Cowan in Washington, thank you.